Okay, guys, welcome to Drafting Out Loud. We're going to be drafting out loud. We just got into this underdog draft to take advantage of the knowledge we ideally gained from the prior video. We have our targets here. These are the players that are considered good values based on the DraftKings drafts, as well as the players rising up the board to try to take advantage of it. Just because they're on this list doesn't mean we really want them, but this is the list. Kenneth Walker now actually at pick 21 is up like 3 picks from yesterday, where he was pick number 24 about. And so he is screaming up the boards right now. Travis Etienne is now solidly in the middle of the third round when before he was end of the third round. That's interesting. We're probably not going to get Jahmyr Gibbs. If we got Jamar Chase, that would be amazing. Christian McCaffrey's a value on Underdog relative to DraftKings. That being said, with the 7th pick, we are hoping that one of these players falls to us. If they don't, we have not taken Christian McCaffrey at all, I don't think. So we would, I guess, have to consider Christian McCaffrey at least one time. See what happens here. Probably take JSN. Hopefully not, but he did. Okay, that was kind of expected, right? So we will take Christian McCaffrey. First time taking him. Uh, let's see where Mike Evans is at these days. So Mike Evans is ADP 56. There is a slight chance he makes it to us in the 5th round. If he did, that would be pretty sweet. Um, and now's probably the time to take Kenneth Walker. Not that I really love Kenneth Walker, but he is also screaming up the boards. He's probably going to easily pass this 18th pick. Like I was saying, he's going to probably end up here at like 13, 14, 15. So we might as well just get at least one share of Christian McCaffrey and Kenneth Walker and hope for the best. If he comes back to us, is there anyone we'd want more on this team for some reason? I think if these two guys, no, I mean, not even both of them. I think if Omari and Hampton gets to us, we have to consider that instead. There goes Kenneth Walker, so we don't even have to consider that. Wah, wah, wah. Would love it Omari and Hampton here. Trey McBride would be a Derrick Henry goes a little early. Let's see if he takes Saquon. I see Saquon sometimes go ahead of Omari and Hampton. It's either Omari and Hampton or Trey McBride. Trey McBride would be a, oh, it's Omari and Hampton. Okay. Trey McBride would have been a bring back potentially as far as a week 17 thing between Arizona and San Francisco. But we'll go with the running back start and the drop on Omari and Hampton here. And feel good about that. In the 3rd round. Actually, Bucky Irving's falling a little bit now to pick number 28. He could fall all the way to pick number 31. Not that we'd be super excited about it, but it could happen, and because we'd have to consider it. Is there anyone else in the 3rd round based on the rank? So Josh Allen's a value relative to DraftKings, and we could take that pick as well. We could go QB, or sorry, running back QB. That would potentially work also. It'd be interesting. Think it's fun to do something that's just different than what everyone else is doing and see what happens because of it. And so it's something I think we can consider. Also, just getting running backs out of the way is okay also if we wanted to. Brees Hall's much earlier on Underdog relative to DraftKings. DraftKings, he's going at the end of the third. He's going at the middle of the third on Underdog. If we do something like this, maybe an interesting wide receiver gets pushed around to us. He took Travis Etienne. So now it's between Bucky Irving and Josh Allen. I'm going to go Josh Allen. Let Bucky continue to drop a little bit. That opens up a DJ Moore thing. Garrett Wilson, I would have liked Garrett Wilson. It opens up a DJ Moore thing potentially. Where's DJ Moore going right now? We should know that one. 64. So we might be able to get him in the 6th round. He is rising though, so oftentimes he's getting picked before. We do have two players based on our targets, and Christian McCaffrey and Josh Allen. Um, let's see who makes it back to us. Rashee Rice is a value relative to DraftKings, and Colston Loveland is also a value relative to DraftKings. T. Higgins goes. I like T. Higgins, even at the beginning of the 2nd round. I think he's okay. Lamar Jackson goes much earlier than usual right there. That kind of doesn't take him out of the equation, but it makes Zay Flowers less exciting. That being said, we already have Josh Allen at QB. Rashee Rice goes. Okay. Let's just take the fall on Kyren Williams. This happened in one other draft too. And so we got 3 running backs now to 3 running backs, 2 of them at value. And that does open up, a better chance for someone like Mike Evans to fall to us, which would be nice if he did. He would take any of these players right here. And then Mike Evans would be the next one, I think. Something like that. Terry McLaurin just went. Colston Loveland. I've seen him get into the 5th round, and he's getting to the 5th round this time. You can see that. There he goes. I like that pick in the 5th round. Tootin already went that in the 4th. So we're hoping that Mike Evans falls to us here. If Mike Evans doesn't fall, I think it would make sense just to take DJ Moore at that point. Maybe at 55. I mean, I don't see the difference between him and the other players there. I don't see the big difference between them. Jalen Waddle's interesting pick for a late. There goes Mike Evans, darn. Um, we'll go DJ Moore for the correlation. One pick away from a really nice value on Mike Evans. Unfortunate. DJ Moore, another player who we didn't get him at a value at all, but he's stacked up with Josh Allen, which I think is important. And um, Waddle would have been a nice bring back if he continued to go. So I guess you could have argued grabbing Waddle instead and hoping for a fall on Moore. I don't know. I think things in Miami are interesting. Watson goes. I like Watson. These rookies are falling, like Tate. I don't think Harvey's in play at 66. Look at all those QBs there. Very early on, Algier. So who do we want to take with this pick? It could be Makai Lemon. Tyler Warren goes. RJ Harvey goes. Or we just take our second quarterback and be done with it. We're going to take Makai Lemon here. I think with Josh Allen, let's kind of push and see what happens at quarterback. If we can, I guess. I don't think it matters. There's not many stacking partners with Jaden Daniels, I think is why I'm not super excited about getting him right there. Parker Washington was going to be our next option. He just got taken. That's unfortunate. We got no targets at pick 79. There goes Hurts. Ricky Pearsall would be a stack with Christian McCaffrey. He's falling some, so we were saying that we don't need to take him earlier. We can see if he falls all the way around to 90. That's improbable, but he is falling. Tyson's falling also. And so part of it's like, would you rather have Tyson? There goes Pearsall, so we don't even make that um, bet at all. Warren goes at pick 76. He's not falling nearly as much as you kind of expected. I think it's Tyson and Metcalf are players that there goes Tyson. There goes Metcalf, unfortunately. Do we just take Jacoby Myers, who's the next available? Reach for him just a bit, let the quarterbacks fall some more. Or do we take Dre? I think we just take Jacoby Myers. Chuba at 80. So this is kind of the risk you play when you go like heavy the way we did. Now with our next pick at pick 90, where's Dalton? Dalton Kincaid's going at 112. So we don't need Dalton Kincaid yet. Not many tight ends on not many tight ends on this side of the board though. Sam Laporta goes kind of early at 84. Rico Dowdle at 85. Debatable what he should look like exactly. Ramondre would be a bring back if he made it to us. Not saying that we'd want that one, but he would be. He didn't, so that's kind of good overall. We could take Trevor Lawrence if we wanted to. QBs are falling. We're going to take Pittman at ADP, basically. We're just trying to get some wide receivers. If Trevor Lawrence fell to us on our next pick, I think we'd have to consider it. You know what? We could have taken Wandale. There, Trevor Lawrence goes. We could have taken Wandale at 100 and then hope that Dart makes it to us. That wouldn't have been a bad idea. Also, considering Neighbors was taken on their side. Our next pick, if he makes it to us, is going to be Chris Godwin. Continue to build out our wide receivers with our three stud running backs. Dart is still an interesting pick because not as interesting now. Dart wins, so it doesn't matter. Naked Dart. Purdy's an option, but there isn't much to stack with because we didn't get either of his receivers. Wandale goes. I think those are our two best picks right there. We're just going to keep on going wide receiver. Chris Godwin's on our ranks as well. And then we want to make sure we highlight him. I think Dalton Kincaid ahead of those guys there. So it's gonna be like that. Patrick Mahomes goes. We're gonna take Godwin right here. A misfit of wide receivers or something like that. We're gonna hope Dalton Kincaid makes it back to us. I kind of doubt it. We also have Baker Mayfield as an option now. So that opened up another stack. That'd be a nice stack because that would open up another tight end as well. That would make sense. Stafford goes. Reed goes. Um, nice thing is more of these players did take tight ends. So there's a slight chance Dobbs going at 107 to the Drake May guy. Makes sense. Coker, I was going to say the Carolina thing, but not a Carolina thing. Does he have a no Carolina thing? And Dobbins way early at 109 compared to his ADP. That was the guy that was on our list. Keep on taking guys that are not Dalton Kincaid. Egbuka is on this side of the board, so is Bucky Irving. So if he doesn't take Baker Mayfield here, he might go all the way to 127, which would be sweet. He took Jordan Love. Okay. Is there any? There's no other Tampa Bay guys. A lot of QBs still available. QBs have been getting pushed around in this draft. Bo Nix goes. Darn, was George Kittle goes. Okay, we're taking Dalton Kincaid. Stack with Josh Allen, and we're going to hope that QB gets pushed back around. James Conner way early. We are running out of stacking options. Mason a little early. He's kind of rising up the boards. These are some of our targets. I think Josh Downs would be a great 127. He's an okay pick, not a great pick. Jared Goff goes. We didn't want the quarterback to get taken because now there's less chance that Baker makes it all the way since the last quarterback that was kind of in the way was just taken. Is Higgins a better pick than Downs? Because then we could at least, there's a stack as far as a Houston stack goes. And is Houston in the same? No, not the same. It goes Golden. Diggs still falling past his ADP here. Boston goes. Boston's been falling. So he's got one wide receiver, one QB. He's got 3-1-1. Okay, so everyone's got a QB, which means they don't have to go. And Higgins just went. Jennings just went. Baker Mayfield goes. Let's see. Hopefully he doesn't. Do oh good. Omar Cooper. Um, it's hard to know what to do. Travis Kelce. Okay. Baker fell to us. Boom. I think Josh Downs is definitely our next pick if he makes it to us. Kate Otten is definitely a target for us at tight end. Stefon Diggs. We'll take the fall. We talked about how he's one of those. McMillan just went. That was another one of the players we'd be looking at. Surprised to see Murray and Willis here, but in this draft, QB has been falling. This guy on the end here has Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken. He does. He took Downs. Will he take Downs and Murray? No, Downs and Ayuk. I think Ayuk is an interesting pick. There's some talk about him soon getting cut by San Francisco, and still Washington is the team that could take him. I think conception. I think either of these two guys are. Kyler Murray goes. Franklin goes. Okay, this is like huge drop on Stefon Diggs. You think that once he gets re-signed, he goes back up? We'll take that value. That's what we said was one of our strategies. We'll do it. Are there any other Tampa Bay guys? Kenneth Gainwell already got drafted. Kadon at 206 is, and then I guess Tez Johnson if we really wanted someone there. Anyone else from Buffalo? Not really. Ray Davis, if we want for one of our last running backs, kind of makes sense. If Malik Willis or CJ Stroud, Deebo Samuel, we have a 2-3-6-1. We could take the falling value on any of these players. It would make sense. Malik Willis goes. I think like Rachaad White's an interesting pick, but I don't think this is the team that needs Rachaad White. Malik Willis goes. Where do you do that? And Mike Washington goes. Strange was one of the guys that we'd consider. CJ Stroud. Where did Higgins get taken? Higgins got taken before us. So straight, oh darn, Deebo Samuel goes. Like CJ Stroud or Travis Hunter. I don't know why we need to get CJ Stroud here. We'll just take Travis Hunter. An exciting wide receiver if he gets starting job. Then we're going to reevaluate with our next pick what to do. We got Tyreek Hill, who's a value, and Isaiah Likely, who's rising right now. We only have one tight end. I think if CJ Stroud made it all the way back around, why not? Like a 30 pick value on him. I don't think there's anyone else that we are desperate for. CJ Stroud. Let's go. I think we've gone so hard at wide receiver that we could do that. Maybe Stefon Diggs goes back to Houston again. Oh, that would be bad. All the other receivers over there. We can take the falling value on any player we want here. Kate Otten 206. Ray Davis 201. Can get a Houston player towards the end as well. Dalton Schultz. So we don't want to take a tight end because we want to stack. Oh, Dalton Schultz is definitely our next pick. If he makes it back to us. He's got 2-2-2-1-3. So, and we got some tight ends that are kind of like also insulating Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is a nice pick here. It correlates with a falling Stroud. We get Schultz not at a value, but basically at ADP or so. Could we push him around 2-2-1-2? I mean, maybe, but is it worth it? Probably not. Because I don't know what we would take instead. Like the Aaron Jones pick. He gets Fournette. Like, we'll take Schultz. There we go. We don't need any more QBs. We're definitely not taking another QB, but we could jump into the running back market whenever we want to here. Ray Davis is an option. So is Kate Otten. I like the Kate Otten pick more than the Dalton Schultz pick. I mean, sorry, I like the Kate Otten pick more than the Ray Davis pick. Um, let's see what we got here. 4-5-5-5. So lots of running backs on these teams, but only one, two teams, only one tight end. So there's less of a chance that Kate Otten makes it back, I think. And he's the player I'd want more. Is there anyone we'd want more than him? There's other tight end. There's a lot of actually a lot of tight ends between Kate Otten, a lot of running back, a decent amount of running backs too. We're gonna take Kate Otten here. Okay. We are done at tight end and quarterback. Now it's just wide receiver, running back the rest of the way. Ray Davis makes the most sense if he gets to us. There was another tight end taken. At some point in time, you got to draft Kelvin Ridley, right? Oh, there goes Ray Davis. Snap. That's okay. We didn't need him. The handcuff San Francisco back potentially and Brian Robinson. Let's see any players that make sense. Not really. There goes. Elijah Surratt could get like signed by Buffalo. Keaton Mitchell could go to any of those teams. Nicholas Singleton's a rookie. Nothing super exciting here. Hawkinson just went at 195. Whenever you want him, these players, they never get to you, but when you don't want them, they get much further. We're hoping that both these guys, we'd like Brian Robinson here. If not, we'll take maybe the rookie flyer. Okay. Brian Robinson it is. We have kind of like the handcuff essentially, maybe. We don't know yet. The handcuff for San Francisco. 3 picks left. It's probably, I think it would make sense to go like one more running back, 2 more wide receivers or something like that. Keon Coleman, if we want to get crazy. I like Darnell Mooney. Oh, we got two other wide receivers here that said one more running back, 2 more wide receivers. There aren't really many. Isaiah Pacheco right here. Oh, there goes Darnell Mooney. Isaiah Pacheco here maybe makes sense. There isn't really anything else that we want at this point. Let's just take him. He's rising up the board. I'm not excited about it, but we did it. Lonnie early. We have 2 picks left. Most likely wide receiver picks. I think Flournoy. Uh, Rookie upside. Good Flournoy went. There goes Lane. I think stopping at 5 running backs is fine, considering there's nothing else that definitely stands out. We get all 3 San Francisco guys. There's a couple other rookie wide receivers that aren't in the mix that I should be thinking about. We got Bryce Lance is one that people are excited about. Antonio Williams, maybe. We're going to take Bernard. Been a while since I took him, and he's fallen. Okay. What do we take with our last pick? Aaron Rodgers still on the board. Quarterbacks, JJ McCarthy went way early relative to Aaron Rodgers. There's JJ McCarthy. Keon Coleman went, so we won't get that. That's okay. We already have two pass catchers for Buffalo. We don't need Keon Coleman. He could be essentially a zero. I think Jalen Noel maybe makes sense. He is a punt returner and also is Christian Kirk still on Houston? No. There we go. Figures Noel gets taken in the draft. Tez Johnson, if we want another Tampa Bay thing. Noel almost never gets drafted, but of course he was drafted in this one. Uh, Najee in the last round actually makes a little bit of sense. I don't think he makes sense on this team though. Like we don't need someone that gets, we don't need another player that gets us 5 points or something like that. We got them. We're going to take Tez Johnson if he falls to us. There goes Najee. We didn't have to even tempt it. Well, Tez or Keenan Allen. We're going to take Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen rises once he gets a team, right? And that team could be some of these teams, maybe. I don't know. That's what we'll do. What's the news on Keenan Allen and where he's going to go? I don't think he's going to retire. Well, none of these teams are the expected teams for him, but we did it anyways. Let's see. Did that pick make the most sense? You know what? I think you could argue it does because we do have one, two, three players that aren't going to be doing much to start the season. And so ideally, Keenan Allen gets you some nice points at the beginning when you have less players that are doing something at the beginning. It's an ugly, it's a serviceable wide receiver room. I think based on how we played the rest of the team. Well, let's just stay here first. Running down our team, we have Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and CJ Stroud. We have them all stacked up, actually. We got Josh Allen stacked up with DJ Moore, and we have him stacked up with Dalton Kincaid. Ideally, his top two pass catchers. We have Baker Mayfield stacked up with Chris Godwin and Cade Otton. So both of them are stacked up with a wide receiver and a tight end. And then we have CJ Stroud, who we stacked up with Dalton Schultz. And we were going to do Jalen Noel, but we couldn't. That's okay. We got CJ Stroud at a very heavy discount. Maybe if we knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to fall, like, does that let's look at that. So Aaron Rodgers goes in the 19th round. What's Aaron Rodgers' ADP right now? 205. So we could have passed up on Pacheco and gotten Aaron Rodgers. No, if we knew that he fell, or even Bernard, but we weren't going to take a fourth QB. So if we pass on Stroud here, what do we take instead? another running back, another wide receiver. So there's nothing super exciting here. Overall, I think 80. So this could be the play potentially. You could do like an 80 Mitchell thing. What's 80 Mitchell's? 180. So that would have been, there's like, but I never see him go at 180. Don't think I've seen him go to 180 in any of the drafts that I've considered him. You overdraft 80 Mitchell right here. You get Dalton Schultz right here. Kate Otten right here. Then we miss out on Geno Smith anyways. So I think it worked out well the way we did it. CJ Stroud hopefully just fills in the gaps and gives us points when the others don't, which shouldn't be often. So we didn't need to take the third quarterback, but we went so heavy at wide receiver here and Moore, Lemon, Myers, Pittman, Godwin, and then a falling Diggs upside Hunter pick. Do we have two Jacksonville guys? We do. Myers and Hunter, which I think is also nice, right? Like Hunter doesn't have that big of a role most likely in offense right now. But let's say, for example, Myers was the one that went down. Well, then Hunter's the one that picks up that wide receiver role ideally, and then he can break out. So we have three QBs that are stacked. We have three running backs up top, and then we waited all the way until the 17th and 18th round to grab our other two running backs. They're both potential handcuffs, not super exciting handcuffs, but handcuffs. Where did Tank Bigsby went all the way in the 15th round in this one? Wow, way early for Tank Bigsby. And then we went 9 wide receivers because we didn't grab our first one until the 5th round. And then we just kept on drafting wide receivers with a little bit of a break here before ending with 2 more wide receivers. I think that Keenan Allen pick at the end is good just because it hopefully gives us some points early on in the season. We actually got a falling Baker as well, right? Baker, 17 picks past ADP. Allen essentially at ADP, and then 30 something picks on CJ Stroud. We got a falling Omari and Hampton. We weren't able to pair up Hampton with any of his. Did we miss out on like pairing Hampton with some of his pass catchers? We got a falling, so we got a lot of ADP value, right? There, 17 picks there, 30, almost 28 picks there. 4 picks or 3 or 4 picks early in the draft, 7 picks there. This is at the end. It doesn't matter a whole lot, but I think that's a nice pick there. So another 13 picks there. Isaiah Pacheco is going to probably rise up, and this will be probably closing line ADP, assuming Detroit doesn't get another running back. The DJ Moore, we took him way early for the stack. I think he kind of matches up with Waddle and things like that. So I don't like it, but I like it because I got Josh Allen. I think I even said that on the previous video about, drafting DJ Moore. It feels good when you get Josh Allen. We got Lemon, slightly past ADP. Myers, we wanted to get someone else instead of Myers, but were we one pick away from, oh no, we were one pick away from Mike Evans here and then trying to push Moore around. We were one pick away from DK Metcalf right here. Not that that's like a nightmare we missed. We got Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers was doing something early on with Jacksonville, but we had to overdraft here. We got Pittman essentially at ADP. We got a rising Godwin at ADP, which is nice. We got a falling Diggs. He's falling, but we got him almost 20 picks. Travis Hunter at ADP, Bernard well past ADP, Allen, another round, end of it. Dalton Kincaid, ADP Schultz slightly ahead, and then on slightly ahead as well. So we got a lot of ADP value in the places that were nice. And then when we didn't get ADP value, it was for the players that correlated heavily with our team. I think that makes a lot of sense. We didn't get any bring back, and we don't really need any. You don't need bringbacks. No bringbacks with Josh Allen, with Baker Mayfield. We didn't get any bringbacks either, I don't think. And then last but not least, with CJ Stroud. Yeah, no. Oh no, with CJ Stroud, we have bring back. We have two bringbacks, Jacoby Myers and Travis Hunter. There you go. Team that came together. Let me know what you think on this one. We actually usually compare ourselves to one team. I know this is getting kind of long, but we're going to compare ourselves to one team. Why not? We had a 3-5-9-3. Let's see if we can find another 3-5-9-3. Okay, look at that, a 3-5-10-2. And you can see we actually had similar strategies here as far as how we did things. So I have a feeling I'm going to like his team also. He went with 3 running backs early. He got the falling Irving. Good for him. We were considering Irving right here. It would have been nice on this team considering we got the falling Baker Mayfield. So I guess shame on us. We did get Allen though instead. That's how it always works. Okay. But we've got 3 running backs early. When did they get their 4th running back? Did they wait longer or the same? Okay. They got Allen in the 16th, a rookie. I like it. Trying to get some upside there. We got Brian Robinson in the 17th. And then they got Claiborne, another rookie. And we got Pacheco. So they went with more upside with their other picks. So I kind of like how they did that. I don't know if they'll hit though. That's the risk for it. We went with the unknown a little bit here, or maybe the backup to the handcuff. And then we went with the player that was rising. So ideally the closing line value there with that one. They might get closing line value depending on where they get drafted, or maybe not. We both went 3 QBs. I got mine earlier than theirs. They got a falling Drake May at 83. I like it. Did they get Dobbs? They got Dobbs to correlate with it. They got a slightly falling. I think Love usually oftentimes goes a slightly falling Love with Watson and Kraft. I like that as well. And then they got Booty to correlate for their New England thing as well. They did it with Hunter. They did them. So they did a good job correlating. Michael Penix, Atlanta. Did they go London or do they have any other Atlanta guys? I think they could have just went 2 QBs. I mean, whatever. I think the 3rd QB is fine. I think they could have gone just 2 QBs though, which would have been totally okay. But I went 3 QBs, so did they. They took their second one slightly before me, and I got Baker Mayfield falling even more into the 11th. So we were both kind of trying to push QBs a little bit. I liked theirs. I mean, he's got better stacks than me. So I do like that for him. I don't know why he passed on Baker Mayfield. Let's see. Because he took Love instead. He wanted Love instead of Mayfield. That's fine. It would have been nice if McMillan kept on falling because you can potentially get him at 51. If Diggs would have been taken here, I'd probably take McMillan here at 38. So he definitely took him early. And there was downs who they went to. Tight end wise, he has 2. I have 3. I have a feeling. Okay, he's got Kraft coming off an injury, but I like and Henry. So he's fine with 2 tight ends. If I was him, I'd probably go 3 tight ends and 2 QBs instead of 3 QBs and 2 tight ends. I waited longer for my first tight end, longer for my second tight end, and then I grabbed my third tight end as well. So it makes sense why I have three and he has two, though. So I dig it. And then he just, instead of getting a third tight end, he got a 10th wide receiver. Whoops, okay, right here, 10th wide receiver. He got his first slightly earlier, got good value on Watson. 1, 2, 3. Dobbs to stack, 5. McMillan as just another Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Boutte to stack. A falling Tyreek. Is that a falling Tyreek Hill? 158, slightly falling Tyreek Hill. Trey Harris, Zachary Branch, and Bateman at the end, which is fine. Whatever, whoever you want here is totally cool. The Bateman doesn't really correlate with what he's got, but whatever. So I like his team overall. Makes sense. It's a little interesting. He went with more exciting players at running back than me. I think I went with more exciting players at wide receiver than him. And that is slightly, I think we both did it a little bit back. Or, I mean, I think he did it right at running back probably a little bit more, and I might have done it a little bit. No, I don't know. I don't think it matters. Okay. We both, I think, executed relatively well. I like his team maybe slightly better as far as the correlation goes. I think I did fine with my correlation too. I think I maybe got slightly more value than him, but he did totally fine with values too. Let me know what you think. See you on the next one. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I did compare to players we were targeting. We ended up with a number of those players too. We ended up with McCaffrey, who's a value on the site, Allen, who's a value on the site, Moore, who's rising up the boards. Is Pittman rising up the boards right now? Was he? Or was he falling? I don't remember which one. Let's take a look really quick. Platform values. Not a platform value. He's nothing on this site. That's okay. He doesn't need to be. We got 3 though so far. Let's see what else we got. Godwin was rising, so that's 4. Diggs is falling. Was Otten rising because he got signed? I don't think so. Pacheco's rising. That's 5. So we have 5 players from our list. We did pretty good. Okay. Let me know what you think. See you on the next one. Peace.